you ready, baby?
Alright kids, we're getting ready to wrap up here, and that means that it is pick time. Diego and I are going to roll through the games coming up this week, let you know what we think's going to happen, and then we can circle up next week and find out who gets to wear the freaking dunce cap.
We're going to make you some money. Not really.
No, not really. Don't use these to bet. These are really for entertainment purposes only. And really, it's only our entertainment if you use it to bet, because you're probably going to lose your ass. So, we're going to start with Denver at Kansas City. I don't know about you, but I see Peyton. He's got a little bit of a noodle arm. He kind of reminds me a little bit of that stripper. You know the one? No, the one. She's always trying to sell dance. Anybody want to dance? Anybody want to dance? She probably should have hung it up about 5 years ago. She tries really, really, really hard. It's just not that fun to watch. I got the distinct impression that Kansas City's defense is going to drop the hammer. So, give me KC all day long.
I'm not going to knock on Manning as bad as you did, but obviously we both watched games last week. Kansas City was really good on the road. That defense, Justin Houston bringing it in, they're really, really just good at just putting pressure. Obviously, the Broncos offense looks all levels of crap last week against the Ravens, and it really seem like it's going to be any different with Kansas City this week. So at Kansas City, it's as easy for me. Chiefs all the way.
Well, all right then.
Then I got, if you look at the next game, then you got, Houston Texans at Carolina. I believe I saw this today that, Houston starting Ryan Mallett. Doesn't matter. I'm still picking the Panthers. They looked good last week against the Jaguars, which is really nice. So, Panthers.
This is one of those things where we're going to have to agree. Give me Cam all day long. I think he's going to freaking light it up, even though they've got J.J. Watt. All right, next pick, we have got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jameis Winston going to New Orleans.
Wait a second. Let's just get this to the point. This is 1, 2, 3, and we say who's going to win. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Saints.
That was easy. It's not even worth discussing.
All right. Next up
is going to be Detroit at Minnesota. Same Minnesota team that we saw last week. And, obviously, your Detroit Lions, who had a really entertaining game against the Chargers. I got Minnesota bouncing back, so I'm picking the Vikings.
You're picking the Vikings. Okay, well, what I've got, Amir Abdullah is going to baptize that Minnesota defense again. That kid's a freak. I don't care if Calvin Johnson goes off. I don't care if the QB has a lights-out day. I don't care if DeAndre Levy's not playing. That kid's the freaking goods. Give me Detroit.
Okay.
And next up, we have got the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. There are a lot of people who would go with the trendy pick here and pick Tommy Terrific and friends, and I'm not that guy. I believe that the Buffalo Bill defense is going to drop the hammer on Tommy and friends, and he's not going to have to worry about deflating his balls. I get the distinct impression that Darius is going to do it for him.
All right, look, obviously last week, probably one of the most shocking results, Bills just kind of beating the bejesus out of the Colts. I'm still buying Tom Brady on this one. I like what I saw last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm not going to overreact to what the Bills did last week, so I'm going with
Is that
Tommy
12
Boy.
PSI or 10 PSI?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter the PSI?
No, it's still
Okay.
Tommy Boy.
Solid, just want to make sure.
Yes.
All right, what do we got next?
Well, we got Chicago hosting the Arizona Cardinals, who are actually favored on the road. And I'm not even going to try to discuss this. It's Arizona. I'm agreeing with the spread. Arizona's going to beat this up.
Okay, so how this normally goes is anytime that Jay Cutler's on a football team, what I do is pick the other team to win because Jay Cutler sucks.
Even against the Jaguars?
Hard.
Okay.
I would pick the Chicago Bears to lose to the Enox Eagles. And if you haven't heard of the Enox Eagles, don't worry. Nobody has. They're a high school football team from freaking Modesto. In any case, give me Arizona all day long. Next up, we have got the Tennessee Titans going to Cleveland.
Well, I think this might be the one where we disagree on because I have to be really impressed with what Tennessee did last week and Marcus Mariota. Again, I'm not going to overreact, just like I'm not overreacting to Buffalo. I'm not going to overreact and say, Mariota is the truth and Tennessee is going to be a breakout team. But you may be seeing Johnny Manziel at quarterback for Cleveland. I don't care if it's the Browns home opener. I'm taking the Titans.
Well, unless they convince Warren Moon to suit up and play quarterback for him and change their name back to the Oilers, I don't see how they win this game. Rookie quarterback, road game, gimme Cleveland. I cannot freaking believe I am picking Johnny
I can't believe it either.
Game. Gimme Cleveland. God help me. Gimme Cleveland. All right, next up, we have got the San Diego Chargers at the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals. I'm going to take them all day long. I like Woodhead. I like Rivers. There's a bunch of stuff I like about the San Diego Chargers. I just kind of like Cincinnati a lot more.
Cincinnati is definitely not as good as how they looked against the Raiders last weekend. That was horrible up in Oakland. But San Diego I don't know if they have enough firepower to go against a much better defense than one they saw last week against the Lions. They're doing it on the road. So I'm going Bengals as well.
Okay, Bengals as well. All right. Next up, we have got the St. Louis Rams going to the Washington Redskins.
Hey, how's RG3 going to do this week?
He is going to probably look at some board clips, maybe give some pointers, maybe, give a nice speech. Look, two things real quick. What the Rams did last week against Seattle, even if they did it at home, was really impressive. They should have won that game in regular time, not even going to overtime. I'm not sure I'm picking Washington to win any games this season. So, Rams.
Okay, St. Louis for you.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to make this really short. St. Louis for me.
Bingo. All right, next up, we have got the Atlanta Falcons going to your New York Giants, who got to kind of figure out when it's time to take a freaking sack.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to go with the Matt Ryan Airmail Project to house Eli and friends. Modo, Beckham, or no, I don't see any way that the Giants come out of this one with a win. I don't think they got the juice to stop in the air.
I believe that's a home opener for the Giants, if I'm correct. I'm thinking the Giants bounce back.
Even if they need Eli to figure out when to take a sack?
Don't look at me like that. Did I stutter? No, I said Giants.
You said Giants.
Yeah.
You're putting your money in Eli.
Yes.
Eli talks and you listen?
Nah, I don't know about going that far.
All right. Next up, we have got the Baltimore Ravens going to your Oakland Raiders.
Nobody knows this because we didn't get it really on tape last week, but I actually picked the Raiders to win week 1, which is obviously they laid me down.
I told you I was going to bring that up.
I maybe I bought a little bit into the hype because it's local, and I still think the outlook is better than what they showed last week. But there's no way I can pick you guys after that trash down. So, Baltimore.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and channel Trent Baalke here, who would like to extend his heartfelt thanks to every single member of the Raider front office for throwing all their money at the 49ers sloppy seconds. How do they taste warmed up, guys? In any case, give me Baltimore all day long. I don't know if the Raiders are going to win a game this year. I really don't.
So they're your Redskins on your eye.
Yeah, I think that's really where we're at. Hey, speaking of horrible teams, we've got the Miami Dolphins going to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, the Dolphins got rid of LaMichael James, by the way, so that's always going to make your team better. And it's at Jacksonville. I think I also picked the Jaguars last week, by the way. I'll give me Miami.
Yeah, you know what? I'll make this one short. Let's see. Magic 8 Ball. Jacksonville sucks the sweat off dead men's balls. Yep, okay, I guess that means I'm going with Miami too. All right, next up, we have got the Dallas Cowboys going to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Philly. They looked good last weekend. They looked good on Monday night. I believe they came up short. Am I right? Yes, they lost that game. And Dallas basically won that game because Eli Manning didn't know that he should just gone down and take a sack. It's at Philly. I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, you know what? I'm right there with you. I will take the Chip Kelly Chuck and Duck project as well. I think the Eagles make this one happen. Next up, we've got the Seattle Seahawks going to the Green Bay Packers.
Whoop, whoop. It'll be 0-2 for Seattle. Aaron Rodgers will be 2-0.
I agree. I think the defense really misses Cam Chancellor. I'm not seeing a way that Seattle finds a way to slow down that high-charged offense. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to carve him up. Next up, Monday night, we've got the New York Jets going to the Indianapolis Colts, a.k.a. Frank Gore and friends.
Shoot.
There is no way I'm picking the Colts to lose this game after what they went through last week. That team is loaded and just ready to challenge for a Super Bowl bid. I believe they bounce back. They're taking this game.
And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to take the Colts, and I'm going to throw a little love out there to Frank Gore. I think Gore's going to get touches. I think Gore's going to fire it up. I think he's going to have himself a hell of a game.
He doesn't have back-to-back bad games. That's just not in his DNA.
By the way, just really quick, on the subject of Gore, kind of going away from picks, if you're a Niner fan, I know Hyde had a great game. Stop saying Gore who. That's a Hall of Famer. Show some respect. I love Hyde. Love going forward.
No, you know what? Outstanding.
Respect Gore, and believe me, he's going to do a lot better than what he did last week.
Well, all right, and now we come to the big one. Prediction time, kids. San Francisco 49ers are traveling to Heinz freaking Field to take on Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'll let you go first.
You know, there are questions going into this game. First and foremost, how are the 49ers going to deal with a really stout run defense? Sure, the secondary looked a little confused. Maybe they forgot to cover Gronkowski. He's not exactly a big guy. I mean, you can miss him, right? At the end of the day, this is the deal, and this is what a lot of you people are talking about. Look, Pittsburgh's defense is not nearly as bad as they looked in New England. They're not. Their headsets are going to work this week.
Yeah.
And they are going to be keyed up after what they feel was getting ripped off when they were out at Gillette Stadium. So what I'm going to say just straight away here is that I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to show up and they're going to play a hell of a game. What I think is going to happen is that the strengths of their defense, specifically as it pertains to bringing pressure from the outside, are going to be countered by a 49er attack that's going to be in the pistol all day long. They're going to put the threat of the zone read out there. They're going to flatten out the pass rush, and they're going to use that flattened out pass rush to create cutback lanes for their run game. I think they exploit it, and I think the 49ers get out of this. My pick, I take the 49ers winning this game 17-14.
Oh, we're even throwing out scores and everything. I think we're going to end up also agreeing on this one. And, a lot of the people in the media, even after what we showed in week one, we don't seem to be focusing a whole lot on really, there was expectation versus reality, what we actually showed. And again, we're not going to overreact to one game. But I think if you look at what you were expecting coming into the season versus what you saw, you have to be taking the 49ers a little bit more seriously going into this Pittsburgh game where they have no Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
They have no
Martavius Bryant. No, Le'Veon Bell.
If they had a full team,
And remember, they're missing Pouncey, too. They're down
right,
at starting center. Sure.
By the way, who are they starting at center? Pop quiz.
That's okay.
You ready?
Teach me, sir.
Cody Wallace. You know where that name comes from? Talk about bad Niner picks. But anyways, if they had a full squad, I'd be really hard-pressed to pick against the Steelers. But the way they look and what we saw in week one, I think we're going to be able to run the ball again on Pittsburgh. I think Hyde's going to go for a nice game. And I think we're going to be able to bring enough pressure on the Steelers to, I think it's going to be a close game also. I'm actually going 21-17, and I'm picking the Niners.
Well, all right. I am AJ Bellino. You can find me at USMC Legbreaker on Twitter.
I am Diego Del Barco, and I actually keep it really easy. You can just put my name and my last name all together on Twitter, and that'll be me.
Thanks so much for joining us, and have a bang-up week, kids.
Yeah.